A long weekend of planning ahead as multiple agencies prepare for the funeral of fallen officer Jason Mosier. Thank you for joining us. What's been planned for Monday is a 24-mile route with hundreds of squad cars traveling through Fargo, West Fargo, and Moorhead.
As many of you plan to line the streets to catch a glimpse of the massive procession, Valley News Team's Krista Boehm takes us along the route that begins at Shields Arena and also explains what locations along the way hold special meaning for the Mosier family.
Fargo-Moorhead area is like one big community.
Sergeant Jim Kringley is driving through the 24-mile processional route to make sure all is set for Monday's ride, where thousands are expected to attend.
See if there's a problem, say a major pothole, some construction, something like that. That's why you actually drive the route, to make sure there's no other issues. Kind of a feel for how long it's going to take.
The processional is expected to last 3 hours, and it's tough to say just how many will be involved in the line.
I've heard anywhere from 600 to 2,000 emergency vehicles.
All riding along with Officer Jason Mosier, passing places close to his family. First at Cheney Middle School, where one of his stepsons attends. The procession will then get on I-29, a warning for those driving.
They're going to try to channel the procession in one lane and all of their traffic into another.
Okay.
Again, not shutting down the interstate, but trying to channel it into certain lanes.
Next, honoring his fight for our country.
This is the National Guard Armory where Jason was a member, and I believe they're going to have some soldiers or some folks stationed here as we pass by.
The processional will make its way back into Fargo, heading downtown, where traffic is likely to become backed up at cross streets.
And we just ask people to be patient.
But a place to pay respect to those who want to honor Officer Mosier.
But downtown does offer a lot of sidewalks that if people want to line the sidewalks, they sure can.
The family did ask to drive by Sanford Hospital, where they say Mosier received great care, and then to the Fargo Police Department, where Officer Mosier worked for the last 6 years, protecting our community. Krista Boehm, Valley News Live.
The processional will end at a Fargo funeral home for a private family service. The rest of the procession will be guided back to the interstate.
With so many people in the community talking about Officer Mosier's death, it may be difficult for some children to grasp what's going on. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Nicole Johnson sat down with 2 women married to Fargo police officers about how they're talking to their children about death.
Kids are so tremendously aware of your emotions and what's going on that if you keep that bottled up and you don't express that, then it teaches them that death is bad and I shouldn't be talking about this. So making sure that you're open and you're honest.
And I think that's an important message to send the kids too, that what happened was very bad and we don't want it to happen ever again. So we need to listen and follow the rules and respect authority.
Both moms added that their kids' schools have been offering support that's been helpful.
More support for the Mosier family as it continues to pour in from community members. Students at Woodrow Wilson High School giving Fargo police a sign they made to give to the family. The poster includes the policeman prayer, signatures from the students and staff, as well as their own fingerprints. The students say their school resource officer is close to the Mosier family, and they wanted to do something to show their support for her, as well as law enforcement.
I just wanted to do something to show appreciation to the police department for what they do for us, because it's one thing to take an oath to say serve and protect, but it's another thing to follow through with it.
Fargo police continue to receive donations that are being delivered to the station.
Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton ordered today that all flags be flown at half-staff in honor of Officer Mosier. Dayton ordered for all United States flags and Minnesota flags be flown at half-staff at all state and federal buildings in the state of Minnesota until sunset on Monday, the day of his funeral. Yesterday, North Dakota Governor Jack Dalrymple ordered the same for the state.
The North Dakota Attorney General's office says they have no records pertaining to Officer Jason Mosier's killer getting his gun rights back. Marcus Schumacher was convicted in 1988 of shooting and killing another man in Grand Forks. It meant he couldn't legally buy a firearm. We first reported to you yesterday that the ATF had been investigating how Schumacher got the gun he used to kill Officer Mosier. The ATF said Schumacher's gun rights were restored by officials in North Dakota, directing us to the Attorney General's office. Well, today the AG's office says after a diligent search, they have no records pertaining to Schumacher getting those gun rights back.
The all clear has been given after a bomb threat at the new medical school under construction at UND in Grand Forks earlier today. At 3 o'clock this afternoon, around 30 construction workers were evacuated after someone found a threatening note at the site. Several agencies, including the Grand Forks Bomb Squad with trained dogs, checked the site and found nothing. The incident is still under investigation.
It's Friday, so it's time to take a look at this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Police say 40-year-old Chad Baki is wanted for unauthorized use of motor vehicle. There's his picture up on the screen right now. He stands about 6 feet 1 inches tall. He weighs 165 pounds. Call your local law enforcement agency if you have any information on his whereabouts.
It's what everyone's been talking about today. Temperatures in the upper 40s in February.
Which is nice.
Yes.
But how do those warmer temperatures impact those who would like to ice fish? Valley News Team's Cornelius Hawker went out to Lakes Country to see, and the answer might surprise you.
What can I get you? We're all out of shiners until season ends.
Cheyenne Nelson knows.
When it gets warm, people go out.
Warm weather in February in Minnesota means
They like to take their kids and just use the afternoon for fishing.
for those who enjoy ice fishing like Donovan Wallen.
I've thrown a plank across just to get out on the ice.
It's going to take more than a day or two of warm weather to scare ice anglers off the ice.
A couple more weeks might be a little more scary, but right now it's still holding.
Wallen wasn't alone in that sentiment. Just on one lake, there were more than 24 ice houses and trucks. The Minnesota Department of Natural Resources has sent out warnings about the potential dangers of ice fishing during this warmer weather, but that advice isn't stopping locals out in Detroit lakes just yet.
There's a lot of ice that's been on the lakes from the cold snaps that we've had, so a warm day here or there, it's not going to make anybody real nervous, especially since they've been driving out there in the past.
I don't know, what else is there to do in Minnesota? I mean, land of 10,000 lakes, just pick a lake and go fishing.
Cornelius Hawker, Valley News Live.
And go to valleynewslive.com. You can find this story with safety tips from the Minnesota DNR to make sure you're doing everything possible to keep yourself safe out there on the ice. And remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day.